You didn't choose medicine. Medicine chose you, the way a chain weapon chooses a wall, loudly, with no input from the wall. You were already a space marine, already processed, rebuilt from the skeleton out. 3 years into a training regimen that made most planetary death squads look like orientation week. 19 organs, bones that could stop a lost bolt, a digestive system capable of processing what the administratum still classifies as technically food. You were functional. You were a weapon. You were, by all official metrics, fine. Then someone in the apothecarian watched your hands during a field triage drill and noticed you'd stabilized a severed artery before your sergeant registered the wound. Not with panic, not with hesitation. You just did it. Clean, efficient, the way other recruits clean bolters. The chief apothecary watched that for 4 seconds and made a note on his parchment that would redirect the next 4 centuries of your existence. They told you after evening formation. No ceremony, no trumpet. Just a wax-sealed transfer notice and new armor, mostly white. The left pauldron keeping your chapters blue, the right shoulder bearing the prime helix. Double helix in red, mark of the apothecarium. Your squad mate, Tertia, stared at you. Nobody said anything because in the Ultramarines, feelings are filed separately from facts, and the facts had already been decided. Your mentor had been practicing battlefield medicine since before you were recruited. He had the kind of patience that only develops after watching roughly 8,000 men die in ways that couldn't have been prevented. He walked you through the narthecium, the medical gauntlet worn on the forearm that would become your second most important limb. Inside it, injectors loaded with coagulants, stimulants, and compounds capable of restarting a space marine's secondary heart under fire. Bone-setting mechanisms, tissue sealants, a hollow spike that delivered pain suppressant with enough pressure to punch through power armor plating. And then there was the reductor. The reductor was a surgical drill designed to punch cleanly through the chest cavity of a space marine, your battle brother, the person who just fought beside you, and extract the 2 progenoid glands buried in his biology. One in the throat, one in the chest, each a capsule of gene seed, the biological template from which future space marines would be grown. Each one worth more, by official administrative valuation, than a Hablock district and everyone in it. Your mentor showed you how to use it on a training dummy. He didn't look away when he explained it. He said, the gene seed comes first, then the living, then the dead who don't need it recovered yet. In that order. Every time. Without exception. You asked what happened if you reversed the priority. He told you the chapter could build another space marine from a recovered progenoid. It could not build another gene seed from a saved space marine who died anyway 3 weeks later from a wound that wasn't fatal when you were kneeling over him. You stared at the reductor for a long time after that, filed it next to the other things you weren't thinking about yet. The Carnifex comes up in the 3rd month, tucked between a lecture on gene seed mutation rates and a practical on craniofacial reconstruction under live fire. A spring-loaded piston of solid metal, small, efficient, applied to the temple. The apothecary's duty, when a brother is genuinely beyond saving, is to administer the terminal threshold. The practical reality, you are the one who decides. Not the sergeant, not the captain, not the chaplain with his memorized speeches about sacrifice. You. Your mentor said, if you wait for permission, you will be standing there with a dying man who needed 5 fewer seconds of suffering, and you will spend the rest of your career carrying that delay. You passed the practical assessment without incident. You didn't think about it again until the first time you actually needed it on a moon in a system you were never told the name of, second day of your first real deployment, when a brother from 4th Squad had taken an autocannon round through the secondary lung cluster, and you ran the numbers in 14 seconds, and the numbers were not good. You won't describe what that was like. Some information the apothecarium keeps in a different kind of file, the one stored behind the sternum, not on parchment. You are not stationary, not working with adequate lighting, stable surfaces, or anything resembling the surgical conditions your training used as baseline. You are running always toward the heaviest bolter fire because that is where the wounded are, and the wounded are your entire jurisdiction. The weight you carry is the list building in the back of your processing, who you reached in time, who you almost reached, who was already past the Carnifex threshold before you arrived. You learned to stop running in the last 6 meters, not because urgency vanishes, but because arriving wrong about what you're arriving to costs more than those 6 meters. You learn to read a Space Marine's vital signs the way a navigator reads a star chart. Fast, contextual, pattern matching against everything memorized. The Narthetium reads the data. You read the Narthetium. You decide. Then you act or you don't, and either way was your call. The Administratum reviews the call later in a subcommittee. The subcommittee has never been to a battlefield. This will not stop them from having opinions. During the Great Crusade, the work had a shape. 14 systems with the 5th Company. 31 brothers' gene seed recovered. 9 saved from wounds that should by any prior standard have been fatal. The Carnifex administered twice. You filed all of it, cross-referenced gene seed purity rates against chapter historical records with the same attention you gave every surgical procedure. You told yourself the work had meaning. The gene seed you carried back wasn't just biological material. It was continuity. Every future space marine grown from recovered progenoids was, in some indirect way, a consequence of you running those last 6 meters correctly. That framing helped. You wore it the way other Marines wore their armor, put it on in the morning and tried not to think about the weight. Then the Horus Heresy arrived, and the framing stopped working. The first indication something was catastrophically wrong was the Vox silence from the word-bearers. The second was considerably less ambiguous. You were deployed to a contested orbital station when you first encountered what had been a Legion brother, wearing colors you technically still recognized, wearing them like a wound instead of a uniform. You recovered gene seed from your own fallen, filed the report. You didn't note that your hands were not entirely steady during the procedure because the apothecarium tracks physical data, not internal weather conditions, and your hands were steady enough to complete the extraction correctly, and that was the operational threshold. The heresy required new categories. You had trained for Xenos, for greenskins, and the incomprehensible architectures of Eldar violence. You had not trained for the moment when gene seed became a contested resource, when chaos-aligned apothecaries from traitor legions had their own reductors and their own intentions for what they recovered. Corrupted gene seed fed into heretic recruitment pipelines. The thought was not abstract. The thought had faces. You started sleeping less. Biologically possible for an Astartes, statistically irrelevant to combat performance metrics. The chief apothecary noticed anyway, and said nothing, which was its own kind of acknowledgement. The Siege of Terra was not one event. It was a duration, 2 kilometers from the throne room, in a structure that had been a research facility before the city around it stopped being organized enough to have districts. 3 crates of Narthetium supplies, 2 functioning surgical slabs, 6 brothers rotating through who were well enough to assist and badly enough off that they weren't deployed elsewhere. You operated for 11 consecutive hours on the 8th day, because the alternative was a queue. A surgical shortcut appeared in the 9th hour that your training hadn't covered, born from necessity and whatever runs through an Astartes cognition at the far edge of its endurance. You recorded it afterward, submitted it to the Apothecarium archive. It's probably still in there, filed under a date nobody celebrates. When they told you Horus was dead, you were mid-assessment on a brother whose left arm would need replacement components before it was combat functional again. You noted the information, completed the assessment, and sat down on the edge of the surgical slab for 40 seconds. 40 seconds was what you had. Then there was another patient. The scouring was worse in a specific way. The heresy wasn't. During the heresy, the enemy had declared itself, corruption worn openly, the shape monstrous, but at least legible. The scouring asked you to chase traitors through systems and debris fields, and the quiet aftermath of worlds that had aligned themselves wrong and were now being corrected. Correction produced its own casualties. You recovered gene seed from brothers who died in those campaigns and cataloged it with the same care as always. The prime helix stayed clean, because the one thing you could still fully control was your practice, and you held on to that with both hands. The Codex Astartes arrived with the Scouring's end. The Legion became a chapter, the chapter subdivided into chapters, redistributed like texts moved into smaller libraries. Some apothecaries transferred with departing companies to seed new chapters with proper medical doctrine. You watched 2 of them go. You assigned them serial numbers in your private record, because the apothecarium would track the gene seed lineages, and you tracked the people who carried them. You submitted a 12-page amendment to the standard surgical protocols. Approval came 14 months later, 2 weeks after that you learned it had been incorporated into the base codex without attribution. That was fine. Attribution was not what you were there for. The centuries accumulated the way they do for an Astartes, not in a clean line, but in compressed events separated by stretches that feel both very long and in retrospect very short. 2 or campaigns. 1 Eldar engagement that became a war before anyone could reverse the misunderstanding that started it. A chaos incursion on a forge world that produced casualties in numbers you had never previously cataloged from a single engagement. You trained younger apothecaries. This became, unexpectedly, the part of the work with the most consistent weight. They came in with the same look you'd had, capable, disciplined, not yet aware of what the reductor was eventually going to require of them. You walked them through the Narthecium the same way your mentor walked you through it. You didn't slow down during the Carnifex section. You looked directly at them when you explained the threshold, and you said, the moment you hesitate to be accurate about what you're seeing, you stop being an apothecary and start being a problem. They wrote it down. Your mentor had said it differently, but the core was the same. Some information transfers correctly through multiple formats. Some has to be learned the way you learned it, in the field, running, with the numbers already moving faster than the sentiment. The Primaris arrived, and you processed that development with the same clinical attention you gave everything else. They were taller. The gene seed architecture had been updated in ways that required 8 months of supplemental study before you could work on them with full confidence. Their own apothecaries had been trained separately on timelines you hadn't been part of by people you'd never met, which was a stranger feeling than you expected. The first time a Primaris apothecary deferred to your field assessment, he called you ancient, which wasn't entirely wrong in the technical sense, but landed strangely. You told him to hold the coagulant feed steady and stop talking. He did. You completed the extraction. The gene seed was viable. You filed the report. There is something that happens in the apothecarium that tactical command never fully accounts for in casualty projections. You are there for the moments when a space marine stops being a weapon and becomes something that needs to be decided about. You are there for the space between those 2 states, the 40 seconds, the 11 hours, the sprint across the last 6 meters. Nobody else in the chapter occupies that specific position in a battle. The sergeant mourns after. The chaplain speaks after. The captain adjusts the formation after. You are there during. There is no decoration for this. There are purity seals which you wear because they are part of the uniform and the uniform matters. There is the prime helix on your shoulder which you keep clean because it signals to a fallen brother across a contested field that someone is coming who knows what to do with whatever they find when they arrive. You move toward the problem. Every step toward a downed brother was, in functional terms, a statement about what you valued and why. It didn't require narrating. You have been doing this for a long time. The number is in the records somewhere. You stopped tracking it personally around the time it became longer than any document you could hold in your head. There are brothers in the chapter right now who exist because of the gene seed you recovered from bodies that were burning at the time. They don't know this. The chain continues, and that was always the point. Your Narthecium is in its 4th housing. The internal mechanisms are original. The reductor was replaced once, field swapped on a forge world, with 1 recovered from a fallen Primaris apothecary who wouldn't be needing it anymore. You calibrated it yourself before the next engagement. It works correctly. Your armor is still mostly white. The prime helix is still red. You are still running toward the heaviest fire. A new initiate watched you work last week. 17 years old in biological terms, considerably younger than your helmet. He asked if it ever gets easier. You finished the procedure before you answered, sealed the extraction point, logged the viability reading, filed the notation on the recovery projection for the living brother on the second slab. Then you looked at him and said, "The work gets cleaner. Easier is a different question." He wrote that down too. You handed him the secondary injector and told him to hold it correctly because you were going to show him the coagulant sequence again, and this time you were going to make sure he understood the pressure differential before you let him practice it on anything that was still using its circulation. He adjusted his grip. You began.